Hey everybody, this is Sonia with Melanin Goddess Life. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another astrological video. Today is Sunday, May the 16th, 2021. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal Sunday and I hope everything is great in your neck of the woods. So today we are going to be talking about an important celestial event, which all our celestial events are important, but some are a little bit more impactful than others, and this would be what we're going to be talking about: Saturn squaring Uranus. Now, the Saturn square Uranus transit is an event that makes an appearance every 22 years. It's a series of 3 events, and we had our first experience with this event back on February the 17th, 2021. The next one will be June 14th, 2021, this is what we're going to be talking about today. And the final one will be December 24th, 2021. Now, a Saturn square Uranus transit can bring change. However, sometimes this change is not always welcome. It's because we have 2 planets involved that could not be more different. We have Saturn, the planet of structure, tradition, restriction, and discipline, squaring against the planet Uranus, the planet of reform, rebellion, change, breaking down the status quo. When these 2 powerhouses come together, something is going to happen. Movement is going to be made, and sometimes it's not a movement that we would necessarily make for ourselves, and that's why this transit is so impactful, because it is going to be forcing us, making us so uncomfortable that we need to move, but the change is so beneficial. Aries rising. This transit is going to put into conflict your 2nd house and your 11th house. Your earned income versus your friend groups, society, social networks, things of that nature. So how this can play out is, this is going to be an energy that is going to require you to, number 1, look at how you earn your money. And number 2, look at your value system. Now, how this could play out is, this is going to be a square, whereas questioning, are you doing what you want to do by way of earning money? Are you in a place? Are you happy with how you're earning your money? As opposed to, are you only earning your money the way that you're doing now because society says this is how you're supposed to do it, because this is what is expected of you? So this energy is going to place a square, place you in a box, and say, hey, Aries rising, do you value what you do? Do you love what you do? Or are you doing it because society says this is what looks good, what you're expected to do, and you're playing it safe? So yes, you're going to have a conflict with that, and you're going to have to figure out, is your value system aligning with what you're doing? We are always changing and evolving. So at this time, are you thinking, hey, how I made money before was great. It pleased me. It pleased the masses. But now I want to lean into something that's more closer to resonating with who I am now. And you have to be courageous enough to say, hey, I'm going to do it this way, regardless of what society says. Taurus rising. This energy is going to affect your 10th house of career and your 1st house. So much like Aries rising, you're going to have a challenge of your career identity versus your personal identity. So you're going to have to look at how your career path, or the career that you've chosen for yourself, and if you're someone that's no longer in the workforce, this still applies to you, because this has everything to do with your public image and what you're known for. This is going to be in direct square conflict with who you are as a person, how you want to really be seen in the world, what you want to be known for. And you're going to have to find out whether or not those career goals or that career life that you set out for yourself, is this who I am? Is this still aligning with me? Do I want to take my talents and move into another area of life that resonates with who I am? Do I want to get out of corporate America and start my own business? Do I want to leave my job and go trekking around Europe? Do I want to, now that I'm retired, now I just want to pick up, get a Winnebago, and just take a road trip around the United States or wherever I am. But you need to figure out how your public standing, what you're known for, your career, does it align with who you are as a person and how people see you in that capacity. Gemini rising. This energy is going to square in your 9th and 12th house. The 9th house is the house of learning, philosophy, religion. The 12th house is the house of our inner self, our healing, our spirituality. So these two coming together and squaring, for me, this says to me, a reflection on your belief system, a reflection on what you know with regards to your spirituality, with your beliefs, with your worldview, is going to come into conflict with your inner workings, how you are feeling on the inside. Are these two areas cohesive, or are they different at this time? This is an energy of, you know how you grow up with a certain philosophy of life, one that we inherit from our family. And then it's particularly with religion. That's something that we most of the time inherit from our family. And we go through life, embracing that as our belief system. But for you, Gemini rising, I think there's going to be a change, a conflict, that this is no longer what aligns with your spirit. And now you have to learn how to embrace what you're feeling now, what your belief system is now, and being comfortable enough to share who you are with regards to that part of your life with the world. This is going to look like studying new religions, and being comfortable with stepping into your truth on your belief system. Cancer rising. This energy is going to be in the 8th and the 11th house. Now, this is going to be an energy of standing in your own truth, standing in who you are. The 8th house, among other things, is what we hide from the world. What the things about us that we may or may not be comfortable with sharing with the masses, the 11th house. So this is going to be an energy of you finally deciding that you are no longer going to hide certain parts of you that you feel like society wouldn't understand. Standing in your truth, being true to yourself, expressing those parts of you that you've kept hidden for so long and sharing them with the world, and not worrying about any shame, guilt, or what's going to be the backlash that you may experience. But stepping and owning your truth is going to be so important for you during this transit. Leo rising. This energy is going to square off between your 7th and your 10th house, the house of career and the house of our personal one-on-one relationships. So this is going to look like trying to find a balance between your relationships and your career aspirations. For example, this may come down to you deciding you want to do another career path, or accepting a promotion at your job. But this new promotion or career path requires you to work long hours or possibly relocate. And now you have to figure out how to get your partner on board, or how you're going to sustain your relationship when you are putting so much into your career or your public standing, or something that you're doing out in the world that is requiring your attention may put a strain on the time that you can give to your personal relationships. So a decision has to be made. Is there a way that we could balance out your career life versus your personal life? Or is this a situation where you have to choose between the two? Virgo rising. This energy is going to directly hit you in your 6th house and your 9th house. Now, the 6th house is the house of, among other things, health and fitness and our daily routine. And the 9th house, of course, higher education and travel. So my interpretation of how this energy could manifest itself is you wanting more adventure in your life, possibly traveling in your life. However, that's in direct conflict to your day-to-day responsibilities, your day-to-day requirements and your routines and things of that nature. So trying to find out how you can feed that adventurous side to you, that wandering spirit, that spirit that wants to just break free, but at the same time, still being responsible to your day-to-day commitments, your work environment, your routines. But at the same time, it is a must that you feed that part of you that needs to just break out, because this not only affects your physical health, this is all about your mental health and feeling like you may be just confined, your life is just going nowhere, and you want to break out of your shell. You can find that during this transit. What you're first going to find is you're going to be really, really pressured by this and torn by this. And you have to find a way to feed both of those, but at the same time, still being the responsible Virgo rising that you are. Libra rising. This energy is going to be in your 5th and 8th house. This is probably going to put a pressure on your creativity. Having doubts about your creative ability may come into play with you. Self-doubt, holding yourself back, sabotaging yourself on your dreams is going to be a big part of this. Just having doubts about who you are as a creative and your talents. This is going to call into play questioning your self-esteem and your worthiness. And you're going to have to get out of that energy of doubting yourself, things of that nature. Digging down deep and finding that confidence that's inside of you to move forward on any type of creative projects. But clearing out that whole doubt and self-sabotage you have been struggling with. Scorpio rising. This energy is going to be in your 4th and 7th house. The 4th house is the house of family. The 7th house, again, is our partnerships and our relationships. So this may play out with you having conflicts between your family and your spouse or your mate or your partner, and you're caught in the middle of this and trying to figure out how you can make this all cohesive for everyone. Now, I know personally it's hard to be in the middle of your family and your partner, because you love them both, of course. Sometimes it's not so easy to find a happy medium for everyone. So you're going to have to dig deep and figure out, hey, it may come down to you telling your family, hey, this is the person that I've chosen for myself. This is the person that I'm making a life with. This is the person that I want to be with. And I need you to respect that. You may not like it, but I require that you respect it. Or maybe your family has shone a light on the partner you've selected, and it's probably not, maybe it's not a good partner or a good match for you, and you're finally coming to terms with that. But this is definitely going to put you in the middle of some conflict between your family and your spouse, and I wish you all the luck with that, because that is a precarious place to be. Sagittarius rising, this energy is going to be in your 3rd house and your 6th house. The 3rd house is the house of communication, and the 6th house is the house of health and fitness, among other things, and our daily routine at work. So this is going to put an energy of, if you've been feeling like your voice is not being heard at work, or your work environment, or you feel like you have been taking on much more than you should be in your daily routines and things of that nature. This is energy that's going to put a conflict on you needing to speak up and make your needs and desires heard. Continue to have the stresses until you open your mouth up and say that, hey, in my work situation, I'm taking on too much responsibility. I'm being pulled and pushed in too many areas with regards to work, as opposed to, just sitting there and taking it instead of voicing your concerns, voicing that you need help, voicing that you may be struggling with everything that you have on your plate. So this is definitely going to put you in a position of speaking up for your own well-being. Capricorn rising, this energy is going to be in that 2nd and 5th house. This is an interesting placement for this because Capricorn, this is all about how you earn your money, and the 5th house is about the house of joy and your creativity and things of that nature. So I see this playing out for you is questioning your value system. Okay, you're another one that's going to be questioning your value system and what really truly makes you happy. It's going to be an energy of putting pressure on you to determine whether or not, hey, money is not important. And let me explain. Let me explain, because it does have a level of importance. But valuing money over your happiness, okay? That type of situation. Valuing material things, because in the 2nd house, material possessions are there. Are you placing too much importance and too much of your value on the things that you own and then the money that you earn, as opposed to in the 5th house, just having a sense of gratitude and joy for what you have, and gratitude and joy for the things and the people you have around you and your wonderful life. Really looking at the fact that these material possessions mean nothing if you don't have joy and confidence and you're not valuing yourself as a person. So this is going to be an energy of you discarding those ideals that you've had, that money makes you better. Money brings you self-esteem. Untying your self-worth from your worth, from what you earn, is going to be what comes into play for you, Capricorn rising. Aquarius rising, this energy is going to be in the 1st and 4th house. The 1st house of identity, the 4th house of family. This is definitely going to be all about separating yourself from outdated things that you've been taught by your family. Again, the 4th house is where we have our upbringing. This is where we learn our foundational lessons. So we are groomed, for a certain amount of time in our youth to adopt certain beliefs within our family. But in the 1st house, this is about our identity and who we are. And now this is a time to question all those things that you learned as a child. Do you still believe them? Is that something that still resonates with you? Because you are now your own individual person, and you are not so much tied to your upbringing, to your family's beliefs. So it's going to be a direct conflict with how much of your family's influence is still on your life, and somehow going through your beliefs that you were taught by your family and keeping some of those traditions, whereas some of them may no longer resonate with you. So this may be a conflict between you and your family that you grew up with, because they're going to see now a change in you and a pulling away of what traditionally was the ideas and the concepts and the beliefs of the family. And finally, Pisces rising. This energy is going to be in the 12th and the 3rd house. The 12th house is the house of hidden things, spirituality. The 3rd house is the house of communication. This is going to be an energy of you sharing your gifts with the world, or sharing your gifts with, I'll put it this way, making your voice known, sharing your gifts. Those gifts that you have of being a healer, a teacher, a spiritualist, that compassion that you have. This is going to be the time that you want to share this. You want to take those things and share them and put them in some form of communication. Now, this could be, the conflict is, this is something that is very personal and very, and this is something that's very private. Hence the 12th house for you. So it may be a struggle with you deciding whether or not this is a good idea for you to share these things with others, to possibly put this in a book form or put this in a podcast or sharing your message on YouTube. But getting your voice out is a part of your growth as a person. And you've been working on these things behind the scenes. Now this is the energy of pushing you out, because you know you have something to say. You know this, but you've kind of been, maybe a little bit insecure about doing it, or a little bit afraid about sharing these hidden parts of yourself. But this is going to be an energy that's going to force you into the forefront of sharing your gifts. And this is how the Saturn square Uranus transit on June the 14th is going to affect each of the rising signs. Again, this energy is probably going to be uncomfortable at best, but because you're so familiar with it, this is going to be your second chance. If you didn't take heed to it on the first go round, your second chance to do this, to push yourself forward, whatever area of your life you're going to feel this energy at. This is great for change, and change is inevitable. Change is needed. This is how we grow. This is how we evolve. This is how we transform ourselves. And this is what this Saturn Uranus square is saying to you. Now, if you would like a personal reading with me, please email me at melaningoddesslife. If you're in need of any metaphysical items, manifestation candles, things of that nature, visit my Etsy store at Melanin Goddess Life. Follow me on all the social media platforms, Melanin Goddess Life. And please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.